Land reform in South Africa. It's an emotional issue that remains unresolved since the end of apartheid. And the death of Winnie Mandela, a major figure in the anti-apartheid struggle. Hello, I'm Anand Naidu and this is The Heat. South Africa is mourning the loss of Winnie Mandela. She played a key role in the fight against apartheid during a time when her then-husband Nelson Mandela was imprisoned. We will have more on her contribution and legacy later in the show. But first, an important issue that South Africa is still dealing with years after apartheid ended in 1994, land reform. Most of the land in the black majority country continues to be owned by whites. But now South Africa's new president, Cyril Ramaphosa, says he will speed up the process of land reform and resolve the issue once and for all. Parliament has already passed a motion to allow a change to the constitution. The proposal is under review, but if it moves forward, it will permit the transfer of land now owned by whites to black owners. It's being called expropriation without compensation. The prospect of this happening is raising concerns about its legality, and there are also questions about the potential impact on race relations and the economy in South Africa. We begin with this report from Yolisa and Njamela in Johannesburg.
The topic of land here in South Africa is causing anxiety to many, especially the farming and agriculture industries. There's already been some attempted land invasions, but President Cyril Ramaphosa has been steadfast in insisting that the process of amending the constitution to realize land expropriation without compensation will follow the law.
Land is a very emotive issue here in South Africa. Some organizations have even petitioned foreign investors to put pressure on government to abandon the policy of land expropriation without compensation.
While other organizations that are also advocating for land reform believe that the announcement by the lawmakers is merely about politics. South Africa will be holding the national general elections in 2019.
We see that Parliament has agreed to start a process, which in our view actually is a political game, because if you look at what actually they agreed on, it's not to amend the constitution and do not happen now. They are using this, the politicians, as a electioneering strategy. In South Africa, minimum you need 410 days to start the whole amendment of anything or start a bill. So there will be no amendment of the constitution. They will go to the election next year with promises of amendment.
The governing ANC says this is about the dignity of the majority of South Africans, and it will be pursued in a responsible manner.
The ANC's program to expropriate land without compensation and, of course, without compromising food security and all other developmental imperatives is one that is being undertaken with a great sense of responsibility.
Ordinary South Africans have mixed views.
We would get jobs. So many jobs, if only they could bring back the land. Even our children would be able to have a better future, not like us. So yes, the land reform is a must.
I think we should just let the bygones be bygones so that we can carry on with life and leave all that thing.
For now, the ball is in the court of Parliament's Constitutional Review Committee. The committee will consider whether to amend the constitution to allow expropriation of land without compensation and how it will be done. Yolisa, Njamela, CGTN, Johannesburg, South Africa.